So I just immediately stopped and I just screamed at the top of my lungs. I just screamed, and Lord Chaitanya, if they steal that money, if they steal that Lakshmi, they'll go to hell forever. I just shouted like that at the top of my lungs, you know. So even though every year, even though we had an airport, the Seattle airport, and we were distributing tons of books there, still once a year we'd go up into Canada and just do collect. And so on that trip, I was working at Walmart, and it was winter. It was 50 below zero with a wind chill. That's 50 below zero.
Fahrenheit.
With a wind chill.
You're outside?
Outside.
Oh.
So it was very cold. We had like big mittens on just for that weather, and boots with just so many pairs of socks, you know, these big boots. And anyway, it was freezing cold. There was snow on the ground. And they dropped me off at 10 o'clock in the morning. And I told you we used to, they dropped us off at 10 o'clock in the morning. And we used to chant the Shringa prayers before we started. I was out there all by myself. But I immediately started chanting the Shringa Dev's prayers because we knew that that would protect us and make us invisible. Right. So that we could be out there all day long and the authorities wouldn't really spot us or even know we were out there. Okay, so I was out there, it started at 10 in the morning, and then I finished at 10 o'clock at night when the store closed. And then my sankirtana leader told me, take a taxi back to where we're staying, because it was actually just a straight road, but I didn't want to waste money on a taxi, because the bus stop was right across the street from the Walmart. And I thought, let me just take the bus. So I walked across the street, and the bus stop was right there. There were a couple of people waiting, a few people waiting. And I just stood there for a little while. And then I had to adjust my coat and my scarf. So I put my bag down. After collecting all day long, I had this heavy, heavy bag, you know, full of coins and Canadian money, and while I was
dark
just
at night? It is at night?
10 o'clock at
Yes,
night,
of course
it's dark. Yeah, 10 o'clock at night.
Right at night.
In that cold. Okay, so while I was adjusting my coat, then I turned around and looked at my bag, and it was gone.
Oh.
My bag. My bag was gone. And then I started scanning the area, and all of a sudden I see these two boys walking away from where I was, you know, walking away quickly across the field. And I realized they stole my bag. So I started chasing them, and there was about a foot of snow. I was trying to run with my heavy boots through a foot of snow, and I was chasing them, and I was going, stop, stop, give that back. And they couldn't hear me because my voice, I'd been talking all day long. I didn't really have any voice left. So I was just chasing them, and then pretty soon they got a few hundred yards away. And I thought, okay, that's it, and they were getting further away from me. And I realized that there was nothing I could do. I would never be able to catch them. So I just immediately stopped, and I just screamed at the top of my lungs. I just screamed, and Lord Chaitanya, if they steal that money, if they steal that Lakshmi, they'll go to hell forever. I just shouted like that at the top of my lungs, you know, and I can't remember if I said make them stop or what, but I just shouted like that. And as soon as I shouted, the boy that had my bag, immediately he stopped. And he, and he turned around. And he came walking back towards me with this bag in his hand. And he was literally walking like this, like holding the bag out to me. And he kept walking and walking closer, like across the street, like, but it was in a field, the field, kept walking closer. And finally he got about 20 feet away from me. And I shouted at him like I was so angry. And I said, if you took anything out of that bag like that, I didn't say anything other than that. I said, I hope you didn't take anything out of that bag. And he didn't say one word to me. He just kept walking and he handed me the bag, turned around. His other friend was waiting for him and they both walked away.
Make that up. You really gotta make that up, man.
It was Lord Chaitanya's mercy. He did it. He did it. There's no question. And I told you, Sura told that story in Srimad Bhagavatam class.
Yeah, I'm gonna use that.
That was one of his favorite stories.
That's a really easy one.
Yeah.
I had